Hey guys, Chris James here. Welcome back to another video. Have you ever wanted to create a geometric pattern in Illustrator? And even if you've not, I'm going to show you how easy it is to do in today's video. So I've already got my artboard set up at 1920 by 1080 pixels, and what you want to do is come down to the shape tool and make sure you've got the polygon tool selected. Now with that selected, you just want to make sure that you've got no fill and you've got a stroke set to black, just to make things easier to see. Now with the shape selected, I'm just going to hold down shift and drag out so that we get a nice even proportioned polygon. And now with that selected, just want to move it over into the middle somewhere. Now to make things a lot easier, we want to make sure that we've got one of these points pointing straight up. Now to do that, you just want to select it, head over to the rotate tool in the properties panel, and you want to rotate it by 30 degrees. And so that's make sure that we've got a nice point in the middle that we can work with. Now with that done, we need to head over to the line tool, click that, and we need to make sure we've got a line straight down the middle like that. To make things a lot easier, I would suggest having your smart guides turned on. They should be on automatically, but if they're not, head over to the view tab at the top of the program and head down to smart guides, or the shortcut is Command U, and just make sure that it's ticked. So now I've got my line, I want to highlight them both and just make sure they're aligned horizontally and vertically by using these two buttons. You should find this in the properties panel. If you don't, head over to window and go down to align, and that'll bring up the tab. So with that now done, we want to just click the line tool, head over to object, transform, rotate. Now you want to make sure it's at 60 degrees. I've clicked the preview, so it has moved it from the middle to this new position, but when I click copy, it'll duplicate it, so you'll still have two shapes. So that's what you want to do. Make sure you've got 60 degrees in the angle and click copy. Now with that selected, you just want to click Command D, and that'll continue the process, so you've got this nice shape. Now you want to highlight them all, and again align them horizontally and vertically, just to make sure everything's like in line and centralized. And now what we need to do is go over to the Pathfinder and click divide, and that'll just make every shape what's overlapping an individual segment. So we've got like 6 segments there. Now one thing I hate is when you get stuff like this, the little crossovers. So to get rid of them, you just want to highlight them all, go over to the stroke, and just make sure you've got corner set to round, and that'll just neaten them all up so you got nice neat edges. So what we want to do now, you can keep it like this, which is always nice, or you can use the shape builder tool, which is that one there, and you can obviously go around and like join them two together, that together and that together, and that gives you like more of a cube effect, which is great because you can then just obviously ungroup them all, and to ungroup your object, you should see that ungroup, or the shortcut is Command Shift G. So obviously with that now selected, we can obviously pick some fill colours, go quite crazy, maybe get some bright ones like that. But what I'm going to do for the purpose of this is I'm just going to go back to where we've got the 6 triangles, obviously ungroup them all, but now what I'm going to do is be a bit more selective with the colours, just so we've got so this will just help give like a bit more interest to the pattern once we've created it. There we go. So now obviously you can colour it however you want. I've just done these colours just to show you the effect it's going to have. And now we just, with them all highlighted, we click Command G to group them all back together. Come over to Object, Pattern, and Make. Now when you make a pattern, it automatically adds it to the swatches panel. So obviously once you've created your pattern, you can make shapes and just fill them in with your pattern, which is good, super easy and going to make things super quick. So now we've clicked the Make Pattern button, we get shown this interface, if you will. Now you can name it whatever you want. Now the tile, obviously depending on your pattern that you've created, you might want to click like brick by row or column, but for this one we want to click hex by row, and that'll just make sure that they're all butted up together, so that when you do create your pattern you'll get a nice continuous shape. Now what I always like to do is, just so we've not got some massive gaps, just want to close in the shape slightly. And all I'm doing is just trying to make it that so that all the lines are the same width, and that'll just make it look so continuous when you've finished. Obviously we can change the amount we get, so we have 9 by 9, 3 by 3, 1 by 3. Totally up to you to start off with, but I'm going to show you how you can manipulate this in a second, so you can scale it up and down according to the shape and the style that you want. So that looks fairly alright. So when it's all done and you're totally happy with it, you just need to click the done at the moment. But what we can do is head over to the shape tool, click on rectangle, draw out a shape, and obviously in the pattern or in the swatches panel now you can see we've got my cube pattern 1. We'll just click that and there you go, nice pattern. Now obviously what I wanted to, like I said, show you is how now this looks a bit too zoomed in. It's filling up the shape, but it's not the sort of look I'm after. So what you can do with this now is click Object, Transform, Scale. Now don't worry, you'll see this to begin with. Now all we need to do is unclick Transform Object, and that'll just make sure that any scaling that you do, it's just transforming the pattern only and not the actual shape of it. And now what we can do is zoom in, so we've got whatever pattern size we want, That looks quite nice. And there we go. So like I said, you've now got, you can create any shape you want and it'll just fill it in with your pattern. So that's how easy it is to create a geometric pattern in Illustrator. Now I know that was a basic pattern using sort of the polygon shape and a few colours, but by experimenting you can come up with more intricate designs all based around that polygon shape. Now for instance, I've used the polygon shape to create this sort of diamond pattern effect, and that was used with the same shape, but instead of using colours I just offset the path and then used a blend mode or the blend tool to create like a step version. So you've got your big diamond going down to your small diamond, and then I've just used different steps to create the middle sections, and then I've turned that into a pattern, and you get this phenomenal sort of diamond shape pattern that almost looks like individual petals. Oh, that's what I think anyway. I don't know what you guys think. And also using that same polygon tool, you can create this cube effect, and that's used by using the scissor tool to cut the individual shapes, and then just again using the blend tool to start off from one side to the other and fitting in equal steps in between of lines, and then on each of the three segments I've just changed the orientation of the lines so that it gives it that 3D effect, and then once it's turned into a pattern again it looks more intricate. So with a bit more practice, a bit of experimenting, you can create more intricate designs, and they're all based around the polygon tool. Now as you get more into it, you might want to be experimenting with different shapes. You might come up with some patterns of your own that you want to use, but this is just to give you an example of how easy it is to create geometric shapes in Illustrator, and you can obviously expand on that as you need to. So I hope you've liked this video, and I hope you've got value from the video. If you have, please let me know below in the comments, because it'd be great to know that people do enjoy these videos. If you don't like it, or you've got some feedback, some constructive criticism if you will, let me know below in the comments, because again, any feedback beneficial, because I can improve on the videos, I can tailor the videos to what you guys want, but also it'll help me know where I need to improve on, whether it's commentary, the actual tutorials themselves, whether it's the lighting or the sound. Any feedback good. So I'll leave it there. Tune in for the next one. See you later.